Good evening, you guys. I am so excited. I've been like hyped up for this all day, and then my mind is right before I got started. And y'all know how I am, like when I do a Zoom, I try to plan everything out, have all my stuff together, and then I get ready to start, and I'm just like, what just happened? So I was like, I'm gonna wing it. I'm not even going to, like do my normal, but I do have any questions that you guys think of, feel free to drop them in the chat because y'all might think of things that I don't think about. So, we all are in different stages in our business. Hold one moment. And I'm so excited for you guys to meet Ashley Willem. Am I saying it right?
It's Wilhelm, but everybody butchers it.
See, I was like,
It's
I
okay.
have to butcher her name. So I was like, am I going to say this? I'm going to ask her. And she is one of the sweetest people. Like the second that I met her, my favorite thing she told me, we like had a whole conversation. And what stuck with me the most is she said, the biggest thing that could help me with my business was to treat people like treat people and not treat them like numbers. And I was just like, thank you so much. Because I was like, you guys know I like preach that all the time. And so I was just like, okay, so we're connecting, and it's been so real following her and just getting to know her. So Ashley, can you tell us your story, and then I'll get into business?
I sure will. So you're thinking we have about 30 minutes on the Zoom, right? Because you said you weren't sure about the amount of time.
Yeah, I think it's like 30 or 40 minutes, somewhere.
Okay, perfect. I know it's late. It's 9 p.m. for you guys. It's actually 9 p.m. for me too. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Pennsylvania. And guys, I've been thriving for 6.5 years now. So when I meet a newer, excited thriver who's running through those ranks, it is my greatest joy to just get to connect with them. And Shavana, it was just such great chemistry, like with your beautiful eyes and your soft, gentle spirit. I mean, I couldn't help but sit there and chat with you, gosh, for how long? Like 40, 45 minutes that night. It was like our last night in Thrive-Palooza. My husband knows how I am. He just finds people to chat with. And it was just so great to meet someone who you had just hit pretty recently, 4K, correct?
Yes, 4K. Running for 4K.
Soon to be 12K, soon to be 40K. Make sure you put those Post-its all over your house that say what you were going to be. So Absolutely. It was really, really great to connect. And I was honored when you asked me to speak with your team. And you guys are based primarily out of Tennessee, correct?
Yes, the majority of us, not all of us, but a lot of us are in different parts of Tennessee.
Okay, great. Well, no worries. You're going to be branching out. All of you are going to be branching out all over the place. My team spans I think 36 different states. But of course, I have a huge base in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, kind of that whole area where I'm from. But it's crazy how you'll start to span out. So a little bit about me, guys. I had absolutely no direct sales, knowledge or presence or anything prior to Lavelle. I guess I shouldn't totally say that. Like years ago, I dabbled a little bit with a skincare and cosmetics company that it just wasn't quite for me. I didn't want to go into people's homes and host parties, and I didn't want to, carry an inventory and try to guess what people would want. And I saw that there were beautiful things about the direct sales industry, but that just wasn't a company and a product that I really felt proud to attach my name to. I knew that direct sales had great potential. I'd seen other people in other companies, but you don't exactly wake up and say, you know what, I think I'll go look for a company today. I think I'll go build a direct sales empire today. It just doesn't happen a whole lot. Maybe some people say that because they've hit it big with another company before, but I was not one of those people. I was actually a public educator for 14 years. I taught middle school language arts. If you have raised a 7th grader, that was the age I taught. Okay, so if you've raised a 12 or 13-year-old, I don't care if you've even met a 12 or 13-year-old, the wacky, crazy hormones. Oh my gosh. 13 years in was when I started thriving, and my little boy was 2. And I was just done for. I was done with just having every moment of my life controlled. I was done with not having energy when I came home in the evenings, just feeling like I couldn't give the best of me to my husband and my little boy. I always felt like I went through this constant battle, and probably so many of you will relate to this constant battle of, well, do I give 100% at my job today and then there's nothing left of me on the home front in the evening? Or do I hold back a little bit at work so that there's some of me to give in the evenings? Like, how many of you, just in honesty, have kind of felt that same battle sometimes? It's a rough one. I can't see all of your faces, but I know. And it is. It's a rough one. And I thought, man, I really want to be there for my students. I really want to be there for my family. I just felt like I was going through those motions of life. So I went to a barbecue, and a very dear friend of mine, she had a Black Label one. She had it on her wrist. And my husband to this day says, Ashley, I swear the sun was shining on that thing, because I didn't know what was on her arm, but we both agreed that she looked better. She had so much extra like pep in her step. She was losing weight. And I thought, wow, she has all this sparkle back. I want my sparkle back. Like, if I can get just a little bit of sparkle, I'll be really, really happy. So I asked her about it. I said, well, what are you doing? What's this sticker on your arm, this black thing? It looks like duct tape. Like, what the heck is that? And she was so smart. She said, I'm just going to call you tomorrow. She wasn't going to get into it at the barbecue. She said, I'll just give you a call tomorrow. And I want to tell you guys, when she called me the next day and explained how simple Thrive was, I thought, wow, this sounds really great, because if it would have been an overcomplicated system where I would have had to weigh foods and pack containers and try to figure out all kinds of time periods to do crazy workouts, it wouldn't have worked. My son was 2. I taught all day. I had take home work. I was finishing up my master's degree, and I was getting ready to start looking for leadership roles, like administration roles. So if it would have been tough to follow, I wouldn't have stuck to it. And so at the time, we were also financially struggling. My husband and I had went through 2 back-to-back job layoffs with him. We were still kind of financially recovering from a huge fertility battle that it took to get my beautiful 2-year-old son. Anybody that goes through that, it takes a toll on you mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, everything. So we had a lot going on, and $150 with what Thrive was at that time. Now it's $160. But at that point in time, I still had that sense of guilt of investing in myself. I know I'm worth $5 a day, but $150 on my teacher's salary and my husband just getting back into the workforce, it was really tough for me to swallow. But I knew I wanted to feel better. I didn't want to keep spinning my wheels. So Emily was so smart about this. She was running for her VIP period. And guys, just be open, just be honest, just ask people sometimes what it is that's on your heart. She said to me, she said, you know what? I'm about to hit this thing called VIP 1600, and I need one more promoter. Ashley, if you will do this for me, I'd like to gift you free DFTs. And I thought, well, 150 sounds tough for me right now, but 100, I could probably manage that. And I thought, I'm helping her out. She's going to get this great bonus for her family, because she was a stay-at-home mom and her husband was extremely controlling with money. She had to ask permission for anything from like diapers to socks to whatever. They're divorced now, by the way. Very proud of her. She really found her way. And so the whole time I thought, oh yeah, I'll help my girlfriend out, whatever. And it ended up totally changing my life, because within 5 days, I thought, oh my gosh, I am in a great mood with my 7th graders. I've got this laser sharp focus pouring through English compositions. I didn't feel like a ping pong ball where my mind was drifting from grading the same prompt over and over again. And then I thought, wow, I haven't really like argued and nitpicked with my husband in the evenings about who's doing bath time for the little guy, who's cleaning up dinner. I just finally felt very even. I felt very balanced. And I started having, colleagues at school say, why aren't you coming down to the faculty lounge? Well, when you feel good, you don't really want to engage in negativity. And unfortunately, in the faculty lounge, there's a lot of complaining that happens. There's a lot of negativity. And so I called my girlfriend up and I said, man, I really like this stuff, Em, but I'm not sure if I can continue on every month. And I said, but I've had a few people at school ask me about it. So when I tell you guys I didn't have any direct sales experience, it was complete ignorance on fire when I started. I mean, you were not 6.5 years ago as inundated with social media and network marketing as you are now. So I don't want to say I had it easy by any means, but it was easy at that point sometimes to get people in my market to stop their scroll because they didn't see a lot of people doing it. So she said, you're already a promoter. just share it with a couple people. Like, why don't you run for these VIPs? And I want you guys to know, I didn't take that seriously at all. I am a 200K / Lavelle millionaire that did not hit her VIPs. I think the VIP period is amazing, but it does not at all show where you're going to go with the company. I've had people come in with guns blazing and they hit their VIPs and then they drop off when things get tough, when you got to stay consistent. And then I've had people come in and they're a little slow to start. And guess what? They hang around and they go all the way. So I didn't take the VIP period very seriously. I thought, I don't want to bug people. I don't want to reach out to people. I was in my own way. I mean, let's face it, right? In my own way. And social media for me, it was under lock and key. When I started, I had probably 300 Facebook friends. I mean, when you're in public education, you don't want the kids to find you. You don't want parents to find you. I didn't even want some of my colleagues to find me. Okay. Like if I wanted to have a glass of wine posted, I didn't want Jerome next door watching me. So I had like my social media under lock and key. So there were a lot of things that when I started out, I thought, oh, I just want to get these products for free, but I can't see myself reaching out to people. I can't see myself, putting any of my posts public or getting on social media and going live. And I realized really quickly that people wanted to know my message. Anytime that I would sprinkle Thrive in, and to this day, this is what I do when it comes to social media. I just sprinkle it in with my day-to-day life so that people know that my shop is open. I'm open for business. I'm a proud Thriver, but I don't make my whole social media based around Thrive, So when I would post about Thrive, people wanted to know, how does it work? Is it quick? Is it easy? What do those shakes taste like? And so I joke all the time and say I built kind of an accidental team because the way that I treated my very first customers, I just treated them like I would want to be treated, right? And this is something that we talked about so much at Thrive Palooza. You work so hard to share the products with people. And then when they come in, you want to make sure that you never drop the ball on them, that you never forget about them. Yes, you're in sales, but you're primarily in the customer service field, right? Because I've seen so many people work hard to get a customer in, and then they just kind of drop the ball and forget all about them. So when I started building my customer base, I had them all in kind of like a little feed together. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that annoyed people back then to be all in a messenger feed together. But what happened was those first initial customers, we started forming just a really close bond because we would share ideas. I wasn't allowed to have a Facebook group at the time because I wasn't of a certain rank, but I wanted to keep tabs on my people. And it was so fun because very often I would get to the end of a school day and I would get an email that said, such and such just became a brand promoter. And then I would look at my feed because I couldn't put the phone in my hand. And I know you guys get that when you work a job where you can't look at your phone at all. And there's days when you're like, I really just want to build my Lavelle business. This day job is getting in my way. I felt like that. So I would look at my phone at the end of the day. And not only would I have somebody clicking promoter at that point in time, but they'd be buzzing about it in the feed. And then all of a sudden somebody else would say, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about it too. I think I'm going to click too. And I would, at the end of the school day, look and think, oh my gosh, like I have all these people clicking promoter. And I don't know if I really want to do this. I don't know if I really want to promote this business because I was so busy. Right. But then I sat down and thought, we don't have any extra money. We are one emergency away from the rest of our nest egg, which wasn't much, completely disappearing. And I had prayed for a really, really long time that just my gifts and talents of being able to communicate with others and speak with others would lead me down a journey that could maybe give me some more flexibility for my family. And I just remember looking up and saying, is this it? Is this the answer? You want me to sell vitamins to people? And the decision really was, I had people under me that I was a few weeks ahead of them and they loved the products as much as I did. They were on the floor playing with their babies and their knees didn't hurt. They were getting a quality sleep and they weren't in a bad, crabby mood the next day with their husband or with their colleagues. And they loved the products as much as I did. And I just felt like I owed it to them to give them a leader. And I didn't know what I was doing. So if you ever feel like, I don't know what I'm doing, I wasn't born to go into this whole leadership role of network marketing, nobody expects you to know all the answers. A lot of times I would say to people, I'm not sure about that. You give me 24 hours and I'll get back to you. And I always kept my word to people. And when you do that, people know that they can come to you. You're a go-to person. And so my reputation was built off of being consistent, just building up the trust factor that people knew I would find answers to questions for them, and just figuring things out. I never hesitated. I never waited. I remember I would sit in my classroom and I would have teachers come in and say, I can't believe you don't come down anymore. And here's the thing, guys, after a while, I knew I wanted to make a go of this business, because all of a sudden on Tuesdays, I was seeing $100, $200, $300 paychecks back before I was even a 4K. And I thought, wow, this is just not even the first rank of the company. What if I really applied myself here? And so I would sit in my classroom, guys, and steal my time away. Lunch was a non-paid time for me. And I would sit there and I would dial in to leadership calls. I started getting up about a half an hour before my family, and I would plan my social media content out for the next day or two. And I stayed up later than my family, probably later than I should have a lot of times. But what I did when I stayed up was I figured out what I wanted to train my team on for the week with our call. Now we do Zooms. And I would think about and actually write down who my reach outs were going to be the next day. And so each day I stole my own time away. I stole a half an hour in the mornings. I stole a half an hour at lunchtime when nobody could bother me and I wasn't getting paid anyways. And I stole a half an hour at nighttime. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but day after day, those chunks where I figured out where can I build in pockets of productivity, it built my business. And every single day, it was half an hour before my family, half an hour at lunch, half an hour when they all go to bed, that things started growing. And so, guys, I didn't do anything fancy back then. It was just share my story, make sure I was consistent on social media, and make sure that I damn well gave people great customer service when they came to me. Because what started to happen then was the referrals rolled in. And as they started rolling in, I actually hit a point where I felt like I kind of lost control. I couldn't keep track of everybody. Do you guys ever feel that way? Like you just can't track everything?
Absolutely.
It's so hard sometimes. And again, like I didn't do anything fancy. I literally went to the dollar store and bought a big, like huge blocked calendar, the kind that I had on my desk at school where I'd rip the big page off for the next month. And I just said, Ashley, get organized. Treat this like you would treat it like a lesson plan. Here's the thing. I had never done direct sales, network marketing before, but I was a teacher. I had lots of great skills that I could just pull from that trade and make it work for my network marketing business. And that ended up being how I trained my leaders. You're in real estate. What are your biggest strengths? That's what we're going to pull to be your strengths for your business. And then the stuff that you're not great at, I'm going to coach you and help you fill in those blanks, right? You are a cosmetologist. You're great at talking with people. You're great at listening to their issues, but you feel like you can't formulate what to say to them in writing. Well, your English teacher friend here has got you. So as long as you're helping people find their strengths and helping them fill in where their weaknesses are, you will build incredible, incredible teammates on that end. And let me tell you guys, as I went through the ranks, there were times when I lost rank. There were times when I lost prominent leaders. I lost a 40K leader. I lost an 80K leader at one point. And I know it sounds crazy. You just think, how could they stop? How could they give it up? And, you know, they were making great income for their families, but people have different reasons. And this was why I talked with you so much, Shavana, about just treating people as a person, because sometimes in this business, you're going to go through real things with people and they need to know that if they need to step out and take a break, that you're going to welcome them back with just love and open arms whenever they're ready. And sometimes they don't come back, but that's when you just have to dig deep and say, my business should never, ever revolve around what one other promoter is doing. Guys, 6.5 years, I still get up every day and do my reach outs. I still post my social media content. I still make sure that I follow up with my thrivers to give them a great experience and to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to bring in referrals to retain them as customers, right? So nobody is ever going to take away my livelihood for my family. Okay. I don't care if they're 12K, 40K, 80K. I know where I'm going to be 10 years from now. I'm going to be with this company. I don't know where they're going to be. So as long as you're very clear on your plan of where you want to be, it will help you so much to not take anything personally about the business, if that makes sense. Because I learned really quickly on, sometimes I set goals for my promoters that they weren't ready for. And so I learned really quickly to just start listening. What is your goal? Is it that you want to make an extra 100, 200 bucks a week for groceries? Or is it that you really want to go for 12K and earn the car and earn the lifestyle getaways? And whatever they would tell me, I would put them on a plan for that. I would figure out how aggressive to be. And the first thing that I would do with them, and that I still do, guys, if you ever struggle with how to onboard promoters, the first thing I do is we look at 24 hours in a day, and I say, I want you to take 2 highlighters, and I want you to highlight what have you tied up with work, right? Or if they're a stay-at-home parent, I need you to highlight your non-negotiable time, your family time, the time where you're at sports or just you can't commit to the business. And I'm going to help you find 2 20 to 30 minute chunks a day where we're going to do the income producing activities that you need to actually build your business. And we're going to do them day after day after day. And you're going to see people start to come to you. You're going to be doing the reach outs, but you're going to see people watching you. You're going to start to see your social media traffic go up in your back office. But I need you to look at your calendar with me. We're going to pick out 2 chunks of time each day that I'm going to ask you to commit to doing those income producing activities, which for me, they've never changed. Yeah, I do the fun stuff now. I do the reels and I do whatever the trend is, I will try it. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I feel like a complete, I don't even know what to say. I feel like a complete jackass doing these reels. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't do it, my team's not going to do it. And it gives my team great ideas. And they're in there saying, yeah, Ashley's got it going on. That reel she did today was funny. I feel crazy. I'm 40-year-old woman pointing and doing all this like crazy stuff. But if I don't do it, my whole speed of my team slows down. Your team follows every single thing that you do. I just qualified yesterday for the 8K, 200K leadership retreat, and I may not be able to actually go. I'm hoping I'm going to, but I knew the dates could have been a conflict going into this. But my attitude is I'm still going to run for it because I need to show my team that they have a leader that's not sitting back and just collecting a paycheck every single Tuesday. Because unfortunately, you do have leaders that get to a certain level and they don't work their business. They just sit and they become paycheck collectors. So I don't know if it's going to work out for me to actually go on the retreat, but I want my team to know if they're going to throw something out there, we have a leader that's not lying to us when she says, I get up every day and do the same things that I started doing 6.5 years ago. I still do them today. So consistency makes you a go-to person. Treating other people well is going to give you the best reputation. It's going to make people feel so comfortable knowing they can bring referrals to you. And then as you're working your business and you need help, they're going to help you out. Your customers start to help you out with things because you've taken such good care of them through the years. Send your auto shippers a little thank you card each month. After every 3 auto ships, send them a little sample of something, right? I hope, send them a packet of glass. I love puns because I was a language arts teacher. I hope your Christmas was a blast. And, birthdays, send them the I want to say cupcake, but the birthday cake pro bars. Just everybody likes getting a little something in the mail because we're in a society where all we do is sit behind a screen anymore. Customer appreciation, customer loyalty programs. I do a drawing every single month for anybody who has auto shipped, right? I do drawing for them. And after every 3 months that they've continued to auto ship, I have it written down. And when they get that little gift from the company, I send them a little something from me as well, because I want them to know that it matters, that they support my small business and that I value them. So the biggest things that I can say to you guys is every single day, be consistent, even on the days where you feel like I am spinning my wheels. No one is, answering me back. They're ghosting me. I feel like I'm not getting any engagement on my social media. That reel flopped. Keep doing it, because usually when you're feeling that way, you're right about to turn a corner with somebody or someone that's going to come in and change the game for you. I was at a point about a year ago where I thought, can we achieve more? Are we going to do any more? And I actually went to a leadership retreat in Florida that Maria Dillard hosted for her 200Ks. And I went, And the keynote speaker, I don't even recall his name, guys, it's written down. And he said, if there is someone in your life that you know they would do so well at this, what's holding you back? So as I said, I was at a point with what COVID had done as far as morale with some of my teammates, as far as sales for some people. I was kind of at a point where I thought, is this it? Is this as high as we're going to grow? And so I sat at that retreat and I came back and I just messaged that person upon returning from Florida. She's a personal trainer. And I had held back on messaging her because she was a customer of a direct promoter of mine. And I said, I think you would be excellent at this. You were on the phone with me about a year ago and life happened and you had to drop the ball. But if you want to do this under Jamie, who is direct to me, I'm going to be there to help you every step of the way too. I've never been afraid to reach down to people. Nobody owns anybody. Okay. So she's a level 2 promoter to me this day that's about to hit 40K. And she's only doing it because I reached out to her. And she called me back immediately and said, Ashley, she's a very, very spiritual person. And she said, I've literally been sitting here the past couple of days just praying about, the Lord to lead me to something else because I'm really burnt out right now with my personal training business. I just feel like I have to work around everybody else's schedule. And she was a very just adamant thriver. She had a lot of her clients thriving. And I told her, I said, you've already got your network built up. You already have this sphere of influence in the health and wellness industry. Why wouldn't you, sell these vitamins? You have tons of people under you. Why not make the commission? And she thought about it. And it was so cute. I actually went over to her house and walked her through my whole system of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s, how it organized my calendar. And then that night, my promoter messaged me and said, you're never going to believe who clicked the promoter button. And I said, oh my gosh, tell me. Now together, we have just helped her to sail. But it would have never happened if I just wouldn't have had that speaker get that voice in my head saying, why are you so scared to reach out to this person? What's the worst they're going to say? No. And she's a level 2 to me, but she just kills it. And she would not be a part of this business if I wouldn't have just overcome that fear. And then, of course, when she started out, everything was under lock and key with social media. I'm not going live. Totally in her own way, like I was. And now you guys can look her up. Her name is Renee Early. She's the most prevalent person on social media, the highest PPO on my team every single month. And actually, you guys are going to be seeing big things from Renee. She actually just had a couple months ago, our videographer from Lavelle, he went to her home. He actually flew to her home and shot footage of how she runs her day. So Renee Early is one that you guys want to watch for. Go stalk her social media. This is somebody who told me she was never, ever, ever going to post anything public or friend people and take the time to build rapport with people because she's just too busy. So go and check her out whenever you can. But again, it comes down to, and for her, it's the same thing. It just comes down to customer service, treating people like people, knowing that the people that start with you, they might not always finish through with you. And that's okay. People change jobs and professions and companies all the time in real life. We have this culture sometimes in direct sales of thinking we own people, and we don't, right? We don't. That's why I said no 1 or 2 people should make or break your residual income for your business. So treating people like people, providing that customer service, and just really being consistent. People have to know they can take you seriously as a leader if you really, really want to grow a team. So I feel like I've rambled a little bit, but these are just topics that when you asked me, hey, this is what I want you to hit on, there are some of the ones that I'm the most passionate about. And I just want you guys to know, I know that change is scary. I don't teach anymore. I was so scared to leave school. When the original, and back in 2017, the original rank advancement bonuses came out, I was one of the people that hit the 200K one. And when I hit that, I knew I can't lose this rank. I need to hit this every single month. I want to wipe the debt away from my family. I want a clean slate and I want to own my own time. Guys, I'm not a stuff kind of person. I go to Louis Vuitton on all these trips and I haven't bought a bag yet. I love them. I haven't bought one yet because to me, success is owning my own time. That's what it is for me, right? And so leaving public education was one of the scariest things I did. My husband literally had to take me to central office and say, put your letter in, you've earned your freedom. We had a meeting with my CPA who said, you're actually losing money when you're away for 8 hours away from your business. Go put the letter in, you got this. And I was so still, I was at 200K, still trying to break out of that fixed mindset. Because when you graduate high school and college, nobody shares with you how to grow yourself up here. I mean, no, unless you're taking a major or therapy or something that helps you. We live in a fixed mindset. We live in a place where we're told to play it safe, to not break the rules, where we're told, do what you need to do to pay your bills, but don't do anything that could, be, shaky. Make sure you play things really safe. And I didn't come from an entrepreneurial family. I came from, a family where I was the first one to go to college, and my family worked so hard to make that happen. But they were devastated when I left the classroom. They didn't understand it. They thought, you're leaving what you got your degree in to go do this thing with these stickers. And it's really funny because a lot of people may question you. And remember how I said you got to get really good at listening to people? Listen to the right people. You got to get really good at tuning out the people that are in a fixed mindset, because they will keep you there. They will keep you there. People are so scared that you're going to outgrow them. And so when I learned how to train my mind to have a bulletproof mindset, that was when I became really limitless with my business. I mean, like I said, I was at 200K, still having that fear of, I have to leave what I've done for 14 years, all that I know. And now that I've been home for 5 years, I think, how could I ever go back? How could I ever go back to somebody tell me when I can eat my lunch, when I can wear jeans? If I forget, oh shit, it's not payday Friday, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to have a letter in my mailbox. I don't want to go back to that life again. And so every single day, especially on the days when I don't want to, I get up, I communicate with new people on social media. I send my birthday reach outs. I get my content posted, and I follow up and treat people the way they deserve to be treated, because it takes a whole lot of people for me to have a life of freedom, right? So that I could go on, but that's what I got for now for you. And like I said, I'm out of the classroom, earned my freedom, but it's still, you got to work on this every single day too. This can falter at any time for any of us, but if you keep this strong, you will be limitless with this business, guys. Like I said, tune out the wrong people, the ones that are scared to let you fly.
Ashley, I swear you nailed every single thing. Literally everything that I wrote down, you touched on. And I was just like, well, let me sit back and just take it all in, because every question I even thought I would have threw out there, you literally touched on. I have no other words, and this Zoom was just amazing. I'm so glad you did this for us, and I thank you so much.
Oh, you guys are so welcome. I love, my upline, guys. None of my uplines, other than 6, 7 levels up, took me under their wing. So when I have people like you that I come across that have this great energy and say, I really want this, I'm always willing to hop on a Zoom. I think that makes Lavelle really special. We don't keep everything to ourselves. We share it with everyone. So it was an honor to be on. And I hope you guys, take what I said tonight and just run with it. Just run with it. It was ignorance on fire for me. Just go and fail your way to the top. That's all I did. I literally failed my way to the top.
And we're going to be falling together. You guys, I love you guys. It's probably going to cut us off in like 2 minutes or whatever. But Ashley, thank you again. I will be reaching out to you again. And of course, whenever I get some questions or something, I'm going to be picking your brain. And you guys have a great night. Sorry for bothering you so late. And thank you again. Bye, y'all.